Lynn Danielle Treasure coming to you today from my glamour bathroom. So yeah, I'm coming today with, I don't know, just a little update, okay, of my week and some things that I've been doing. So I want to tell you about a movie that I saw. I went to see The Adjustment Bureau with Matt Damon and Emily Blunt, and I give it 2 thumbs up. It's set in modern times, which makes it seem like a realistic fictionalized story, but it has this sci-fi twist to it. So that makes it kind of harder, I think, to categorize. I don't know. But the story is about, yeah, it's a love story. I think some of the themes of it touch on like your destiny, like libertarian freedom, like choices, the God question, who's really in control of mankind and life. And so yeah, if you like that kind of movie, I think you will enjoy The Adjustment Bureau with Matt Damon and Emily Blunt. The critics on Yahoo rated it like a B plus or a B, which is pretty good. And you know, I think it's a good movie. And there were some lulls in it, and there were some points in the dialogue that just fell flat. But overall, I like the movie, and I think it's because it's a love story, and it poses that question about, you know, I guess that your destiny, you know, the destiny question. So, all right. So, I want to give you all an update on that. And I'm enjoying, I got a couple of CDs. I don't have the jackets here to show you, but I might insert pictures. I got the Cascade Dynasty CD. If you like dance music is excellent to exercise to, by the way. So I got the Cascade Dynasty CD, and that CD is good from start to finish. Every song, and the messages are so positive. The music is upbeat, but not crazy, driving to the edge of like pandemonium crazy either. It's good music. I like it. The other thing I got was Katy Perry's whatever. The latest one with the candy cane CD cover. I don't know what it's called. California Girls or what, I don't know. But I'm kind of disappointed at it. I like Firework. I like E.T. I like there's something else on there that I like, but I've only listened to the CD maybe 4 or 5, a handful of times since I've got it. So I'm a little disappointed in it. But I like Fireworks. So if you like Katy Perry, and the E.T. official video is coming out March 31st, so it'll be out at the end of the month, featuring Kanye West. So you know, you might like that. So now I'm coming today from my glamour bathroom to talk about songwriting, studying, reading, and I usually come and talk about those topics from my little office, but I'm here because it's all beauty, it's all good. So I want to talk to you a little bit about study habits. The question was posed. Now, it wasn't posed directly to me, but the conversation was brought up through a YouTube friend about study habits, noting that, you know, someone gets very serious when it's time to study and doesn't like to be interrupted, and it's important for them to have that quiet time. And that's good. It's important for us to figure out, you know, when we're learning new information for our jobs, for our school, you know, for home, like we're trying to do a project at home and we're learning as we go or whatever, baking a new recipe for dinner. You really do want to grasp the information and hold on to it and retain it, right? So, yeah, it is important to figure out the way that you study best. Now, all studying does not look like having a book in your hand and sitting at a desk. Some people study with their auditory senses. They're listening to information. Some people are visual and they're reading, or they're looking at maps or something, pictures. They're doing something visually. Some people are kinesthetic, where they're physically moving, or they're tactile, they're touching it with their hands. Um, you know, they're building something. They're either sculpting, or they're playing an instrument, or, some people are musical. They only learn the information when they set it to music. So all studying does not look the same. So, moms and dads, those of you with little kids in school, figure out, observe them and figure out how they learn, and then kind of reinforce that and support them in the way that they learn best. And those parents, when you see your teenager and they look like they're not studying, if what they're doing is related to the content of their class subject, and it looks odd, like they're listening to some podcast or they're watching a YouTube video of the subject, that may not look like studying, but it is. All right, so enough of studying. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the book I'm reading. Yann Martel's Beatrice and Virgil. I am on page 61, you all. The book is really good. Yann Martel can tell a story, and this is what I like about him. He tells a story. In the story, he tells a story. And then in that story, he tells another story. So he layers his stories. So in this story about Henry, and I'm not going to spoil it, Henry meets a taxidermist, so-called. His name is also Henry. And this taxidermist has sent him a letter and is going to begin, I think, manipulating Henry. And I know it poses the question of evil dealing with the Holocaust, but I just don't know what the evil is going to look like in this setting, and I don't know how the Holocaust ties in yet, because I'm only on page 61. So check out Yann Martel's official website, and you all, it's really cool. It's very interactive, and it gives you some background without spoiling the book, and that helps you to, set your purpose for reading. Another thing about this book, I'm only on page 61, and I've already found like 10 quotes and facts that I've already written down, because that's what I do. When I'm reading a book and I get to a savory phrase or quote, I have to write it down. That's one way that you can savor the book that you're reading. Get into the habit of, it slows you down, but it solidifies what you're reading, and it helps you to really savor the book and appreciate the book. All right, so now, songwriting. So I'm going in the studio this week. I'm not writing anything new this week to take. I'm taking songs that I've written. They're already wrote. I already know them. One of them is like at least 2 years old, and the other one I wrote last summer, 2010. So I know the material. But when you're and revision is always a step in the writing process. So those songs will be revised from the rough drafts that I've made of them that you can hear on my different websites. But one thing that I want to share with you all about helping you or helping your child to write, this is a book that the language arts teachers got at a workshop we attended. Either we selected this book or it was selected for us, but it's called Awakening the Heart, Exploring Poetry in Elementary and Middle School. Is by Georgia. What I really like about this book is it really helps the teacher to take the learner to a place of exploration with poetry writing. It really immerses you in that process of the writing, and I think it makes it more like a livable event when you're writing the poetry, because you're definitely reliving the emotions and the experiences right there, and you're just grabbing the experiences and putting them on paper. So here, her poetry toolbox that she recommends. Okay, you see the poetry toolbox, and this applies to you musicians who compose your own instrumentations. The same tools for writing poetry apply to you. So you're going to craft your poetry. You're going to have your feelings and your experiences expressed through the visual, through words, through the sensory, and definitely remember to do your revision, because nothing is perfect the first time. In writing the poetry, it's really important though that you build that image, and you use metaphor and personification, you use similes, you use hyperbole, you use the language that is visual and that's expressive and that makes you feel and emote that message. So, and it talks about using the words, so that's your, word choice and vocabulary. Your line breaks that help to emphasize certain points in the poem. Your beginnings and your endings, they pull your audience in, they release your audience. The titles are important because they hint at what your poem is about, the message, and they guide you on that tour. It's like the door. You go up to the door and you knock. That's what your title is. And then your observations are all through. So that's what, even though this is not a poem, it's a story, but it is poetic in some of the phrases that are in here. It's lyrical. It's vibrant and alive in the word choices. It's very poetic in places. So even with music, y'all, with your music. So those of you who are musicians, when you're crafting your music, you are expressing your feelings and your experiences through the auditory, using the musical and the rhythmic tool. You're using the rhyme just like poets do. You're using the repetition patterns just like poets do. You're using the rhythm just like poets do. The alliteration and the words, the meter. Words, it would be the words, maybe the chords. Your line breaks, your measures, how you're breaking up your piece, your music. Onomatopoeia, assonance, and consonant. Just, get your paper, get your pads, get your journals. I keep my journal. And then just go for it. Just have fun. You can let your kids use the cereal box as a prompt. The cereal itself could be the prompt. They, anything as a family activity to write about. Write poems for each other, about each other, to express love for each other. You all, I love writing. It's creative writing, poetry writing, lyric writing. It's all good. And reading these books that are very poetic and telling of the tale, excellent. So now let me share with you some of the tools other than the ones that I listed. I always use a dictionary. Now this one is the Spanish-English dictionary. But I use a dictionary so that I can look at the meanings of words, and sometimes you might want to use the meanings of the words instead of the word, or use the meaning first and then use the word somewhere else in the song. That's just an idea. But know your vocabulary because it helps to make your writing more interesting. And then here's your thesaurus. You got to have your thesaurus because you don't want to keep saying the same word over and over. That'd be boring. And then you want to use a rhyming dictionary that you can get online. Just Google rhyming dictionary and one pops up, and just go for it. But you know what? There's no word that rhymes with orange or purple. Did you know that? So if you can find a word that rhymes with orange or purple, you just message me and tell me what the words are. All right, so I think that's it. Enjoy art, you all. Enjoy art. On Groupon, those of you who are Groupons and you're from St. Louis area, there is a Groupon going on for a year's membership to the St. Louis Art Museum for $35. Get that Groupon and take your kids to the art museum, and that could be the beginning of many years of good poetry and lyric writing and songwriting for you and your families. All right, y'all. Thumbs up, leave comments, and subscribe. Love you. Bye.